Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 The Nick Show episode review. And today I'm going to be reviewing Season 2, Episode 1, the premiere of the second season of the show. And I think the episode is called The Mutagen Situation, I think. Uh, I'm just kind of trying to fit this in here because I'm pretty busy early on in the week, so I'm just trying to squeeze this in, so excuse me if I... maybe it's shorter than usual or I don't have as much to say. But yeah, overall, good episode. It definitely was like the setup for the start of the season, but they managed to make it work on its own as a episode as well, I think. So that was a positive. I like that they were introducing some more kind of emotional stuff into things with the whole April and her father being mutated situation. I like that because otherwise I think the episode would have been a little bit weak without them actually like presenting something emotional in the show. So that was a big positive for me. Um, yeah, the other than that, the character development in the episode was there wasn't that much really. It was mainly the turtles are overconfident. That shows in their next fight, which leads to the big mistake that sets up mutagen over the city, results in Kirby O'Neill being mutated and all this stuff happening. Um, and then they learn not to be overconfident more or less by the end of the episode. It was a little bit weak in that, okay, that's what it was there for. They celebrated the victory, think they've won, and then it turns out they're not as good as they think they are. Splinter won some of it, but they don't listen. It's kind of like kind of weak characterization in that like they kind of was really only there for the plot and that like it was resolved by the end of the episode and just there to set up that they made a mistake. Um, so yeah, I still stand by what I said about last season that I think the Turtles need some more serious slash emotional development, like individually as opposed to as a group. Just a little bit struggling a little bit now with them. They're meant to be the main characters, yet I feel much more towards like Splinter, April, her father, and then the whole stuff with Splinter, Shredder, and Karai. There's a lot more emotion there. The turtles almost seem a bit held back by the fact that they're the main characters and are the heroes. So I hope they give them each individually character development as the show goes on. Um, as far as the villains in the episode go, I like that they referenced again that the Shredder's working with the Krang slash they're working for him, because that was one of my complaints about the finale was that they set it up that the two of them were together, yet the two plots in the finale were completely separate. They weren't really linked in any way. So them showing that they are actually in some way working together was interesting in that he seems to be in charge. He's demanding mutagen to be brought over to them, which is where the plot comes into play. Now, not really explained why he needs the mutagen. And then at the end of the episode, when he doesn't get that, he says like, "I'm gonna do it myself," setting up something. So that's gonna be interesting as well. Again, not sure exactly where they're going, but I like that they're setting up stuff going forward. Um, I just hope they don't get into the situation they did last season where they set up a lot of stuff and like I was really positive about it, but then constantly took breaks away and like set up a lot more stuff, and then by the end of the season they were left with way too much to resolve, and that like there's already a ton of stuff left to still be resolved. Like there's a bunch of mutants still running around the place, like Neutralizer, basically all of the ones that from season one. There's a lot of stuff still open from season one, and now they're setting up even more stuff. They just need to be a bit careful, I think, in this season about how they deal with all this stuff going down. As far as April, obviously the whole thing with her father, he's being overprotective because he's still shook up over the whole abduction thing, and then that leads to her having to lie to him to get him involved in the plan, and then he gets mutated into a bat thing. I think it was a interesting decision for the show to just do that in like the first episode. Like for me that showed a definite step up from kind of season one, and that the most emotional emotional dramatic thing that happened last season was the whole Karai reveal, pretty much. Other than that, there wasn't too much like epic stuff really going down. Like that was like whoa. So them to do this really early on with April, they've got Kirby O'Neill back, and you think, oh, he has to be safe now. They've just got him back from being kidnapped for like a whole season, and then he gets mutated right in front of April, and he's kind of almost losing himself to the mutation. It was pretty emotional, It was really sudden as well. Like they didn't really lead up to it in an incredible amount. They just like it happened. It wasn't like a cliffhanger. It just happened in the episode, and it was a setup going forward. Then the reveal to April that it was the turtles that were responsible for it, more or less, was interesting. It's one of those situations where technically yes they're responsible and that their raid on the ship didn't go too well, but at the same time they kind of had to stop it, and then stuff happened in the heat of the battle. Like it was just a situation where it just happened that mutagen fell all over the city, and one of the only ones to crack was this one on Kirby. They're definitely setting up something interesting with the fact that April seems to hate the turtles now, or at least is just angry at them temporarily. It's a bit of a situation where like she is clearly overreacting here, but whether or not how long they'll keep it going, I'm not sure, because it's one of those situations where you're kind of like, I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, that's not going to help in any way. Like, if she needs the turtles to help her deal with her father, and she wants to be away from them just because it was an accident and caused it, it's just like she wasn't looking at the whole picture there, and I think they need to address that fairly quickly. I'll be a bit annoyed if like we go to next episode and April's not in it or something like that, because I'll say it again, April is the most interesting character in this show by a mile. Like that's the case right now. April is the most interesting character. And what they've set up here with her and her father is certainly interesting. I'm not really sure where exactly it's going, because as I said, they've set up a bunch of stuff here. Shredder's doing something, Kirby's kind of gone AWOL, there's mutagen all over the city that they're going to need to get up, and that's what they've set up as like the goal of this season, kind of treasure hunt style, go for the mutagen. And one of the biggest flaws with that, I suppose, Transformers Prime Season 2 was that it became a bit of a treasure hunt, but in the grand scheme of things it wasn't as crazy as this one appears to be. There wasn't as many relics. If they like do everything, like it's gonna end up being like 20 episodes focused on one mutant. I just hope they don't get too kind of formulaic, like, okay, we'll get the next canister, new mutant, next canister, new mutant. I want to see a plot going through the whole season, and I think they could do that with Kirby as like being the most recurring mutant. And I definitely think they need to set up some more stuff with the whole Karai, Shredder, Splinter situation. Like I don't think he had told the turtles at the end of last season. So yeah, kind of running out of things to say now. They use Mikey a lot for humor in this season. In this episode, it was fine. Some of the humor was a little bit overdone at like the wrong moments, but for the most part, it was good again. Just hope they don't overuse Mikey, and they do need to balance him out by having him be the humorous one, but also give him serious moments when needed, because they need to kind of work on him as a character, as not just the funny guy in the group. They need to work on him as a character as well. But that just leads into the fact that I think all of the turtles do need to develop a bit more as characters. Because right now they're the main characters, but kind of the weakest in terms of how they're portraying them on screen, in terms of their like not getting much development outside of they're involved in like every fight. They're just battling everyone. There's no character development really. But yeah, it was a good opening to the season. It set up everything more or less for the season, which is all that the season kind of needs to do. The season opener needs to do. So in that sense, it was a success. I suppose most of my issues are kind of just with the show right now, and I think the show has potential to do a lot of the things I'm kind of hoping it does going forward. I just hope it gets down to them quickly. I just don't want this show to fall into the trap of doing some of the stuff that season one did badly. That was setting up stuff, not addressing it for a few episodes, coming back, and it not having the impact that maybe a quicker resolution or a quicker continuation of certain plots could have. So, especially with what they've set up here with the whole, they have some emotional storylines going on with the whole Karai situation, April and her father situation. If they get too distracted looking for other mutants and searching for mutagen, that could really kind of badly impact the more emotional storylines, which you're more involved in than just the treasure hunt style thing. But that's just kind of stuff that could happen as the season goes along. There's other stuff to be introduced. I haven't been keeping up too much with news coming out about what exactly is happening this season. I just know a few things like Casey Jones. That's really all. But yeah, good opener. I will be reviewing all of season 2, just so you know. I don't know if I'm gonna have a regular day where I put them up. I know for sure it won't be until the start of the next week. I'm recording this on a Monday. More than likely, it's going to be somewhere Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after the episode airs when I get these up. Just because I'm really busy with chorus stuff over the weekend with podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching this review. Definitely let me know in the comments what your thoughts were on the episode. So thanks for watching, and bye.